Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see behind me, I have my TBR cart, and as you can see from the title of this video, we are gonna be unhauling a lot of these books. Last time I counted, I had 47 books on my TBR cart. And I know you guys might be looking at this cart and being like, Reagan, there is really not that many books on this cart. That's reasonable. No, I have this whole stack right here in front of me, if I can grab it without knocking everything over. Oh my gosh, this is so hard to do. But I have this whole stack of books that I desperately need to unhaul, and I'm going to first go through this stack. I don't know how I'm going to do the angle of this video. It's going to be a little bit of a mess because I don't actually have bookshelves. I just have a cart at my tiny apartment, so we're gonna see. I'm gonna try and do this the best that I can. Without further ado, let's start unhauling some books. I'm so sorry for this camera angle, but first up, we are going to be dealing with this stack of books here. I am going to keep The Crown of Oaths and Curses by J. Bree. I just bought this not that long ago, so I am going to keep this. It hasn't been on my shelf for very long. Same thing with Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. I am going to keep this as well. Hi, my dog is trying to kiss me so bad. Hello, Stella. Hello. So I am going to keep Mere Christianity as well. Again, I just recently bought this maybe a couple weeks ago, and I intend on reading it here soon, so I will keep that. Next up, we have Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulik, and I am going to keep this as well. I'm trying to branch out in the thriller genre, so I'm going to keep Pure and Easy. Again, I just bought this. I'm going to keep this as well. In Cold Blood, again, I just bought this. I'm going to keep this as well. This pile is mostly my recent purchases, but we are getting into some unhauling. I am going to unhaul An Arcane Inheritance by Camilla Cole. I tried to read this, I just couldn't get into it at the time, and it felt really similar to some other books that I have recently read with the magical kind of dark academia setting. So I am going to unhaul this one. Next up, we have Crafting for Sinners by Jenny Kiefer. I am unfortunately going to unhaul this as well. I thought it sounded really interesting whenever I bought the book, but now that it's been sitting on my shelves, I just don't think it's going to be a book that I am going to reach towards, so I am going to unhaul this. We have 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow, and I read this in college, and I thought that if I were to read it now, a couple years later, I would really enjoy this. However, I did try to start this book, and I didn't last very long before I unhauled it. I just think that recently my reading taste has changed, and it's just not my thing anymore. So I am going to unhaul this one. I did start annotating it, so I am going to put it in a free library. So next up, we have The Spanish Love Deception. I recently just bought this, and I started it, and it was I just couldn't get into it. I just thought that the female main character was a little bit too immature for my liking, especially with their ages. I don't even know how old they were, but I just wasn't a fan of how it was starting out, so I just wanted to go ahead and unhaul it. So this is going to be an unhaul. Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I've never read a John Green book, so I am keeping this, and it's a recent purchase, so it is going to the keep pile. We have The American Roommate Experiment, and I did not get to start this one, so I am going to keep this. It was a recent purchase. Now, these next two I have tried to start. The Single Dad Dilemma, I really wanted to like this because it is an indie author, and I always like giving indie authors a shot, and I really try not to be super harsh, but I simply could not get past the way that this toddler was written. She was just using a lot of really big words, and some of the aspects around the toddler just seemed a little unrealistic, so I just didn't really like that. And I'm just really picky about kids being in books anyway, because sometimes they're either written too mature or too immature, and it can be kind of hard to find a good middle ground. So I am going to unhaul this one. Now this one I am so upset about. I bought Smoke and Scar literally last week, and I probably got 50 pages in and I just had to DNF it. I just couldn't get into it. I'm so sad because it is so pretty, and I love the thought of fairies having like fairy wings. I'm obsessed with iridescent see-through wings. I'm absolutely obsessed, but I do think I'm gonna have to unhaul this because I did DNF it, and I'm trying so hard not to keep books that I have DNF'd. So that goes to the unhaul pile. So far, I'm doing pretty good on the unhaul pile. I have 5 so far that I'm unhauling, and then I have 6 that I'm keeping. So I think that that's pretty good so far. But next, we're gonna tackle my physical shelf. So I'm gonna keep this book. I'm not even gonna pretend like I know how to pronounce this name because I don't. But I thought it sounded interesting, and I don't know anything about Greek mythology. So I just thought it'd be a fun book, get out of my comfort zone. So I am gonna be keeping this. It was also a recent purchase. Next, I am keeping The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I loved One Dark Window and the second book in that series, in that duology. Next, I am gonna keep Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver, and then I'm gonna keep Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I'm on the fence with House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I think I'm gonna have to do some Goodreads digging to see what other people have said to decide if I really want to keep this book or if I want to unhaul it. I am going to keep Murder in the Dressing Room by Holly Stars because I just think that'd be such a good book to read whenever I need a break from some of these deeper and heavier books. So I bought Plato's Republic. I really want to dive into philosophy and see what I think about that, so I will be keeping this. I think it'd be a very fun book to, you know, make my brain think. I am going to be keeping Robin Hobb's Assassin's Apprentice series. I need to keep them all together, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring this one up here. I am keeping these 3. I want to read them so bad. Next is King of Battle and Blood. I think this one's sitting in a maybe. I really want to give it a chance, but if it's not catching me within the first 100 pages, I will probably DNF. So this is so far is going to be a maybe. I'm really going to have to sit and think about this because I'm on the fence with it anyway. So we'll see. We'll see about that one. I do think I'm going to keep Tender is the Flesh because I think the idea is interesting. And then I recently bought Clean Point by Meg Jones. I'm usually not a sports romance girly, but this one's about tennis, and I just thought that that would be pretty fun. Next, I have The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I will be keeping that. I have Half City by Kate Golden. This is a new release. I will be keeping this. I also have Castle in the Air and the House of Many Ways by Diana Wayne Jones, who wrote House Moving Castle, so I will be keeping these. You best believe it. I loved House Moving Castle. I have Overruled by Lana Ferguson. And I think I'm going to unhaul this. This is the second time this book has hit my shelf. The first time I went out of my way and bought this. The second time I got this in a blind date with the book. And I still haven't picked it up. So I think that is my sign to unhaul this. Next, I have the Time Hop Coffee Shop. And I think I'm going to keep this because it kind of goes into making your life your own. It's never going to be perfect. And even if it is perfect, it doesn't feel like your life. So I think that would be a fun book, so I will be keeping that one. This is going to be a little controversial. I've had this book on my shelf for 2 years. Kristen Hanna's The Nightingale. Have I touched it a single time? Okay, I've touched it once, and then I put it down. I genuinely don't know if I'm ever going to pick this up. For me, The Great Alone was just so good that I don't know. I just don't know. I think that's just like, The Great Alone is just top tier for me, and I'm so scared to start this and it not be like The Great Alone. I want something to absolutely rip my heart out. I'm gonna put it in the maybe pile. We will see. Next, I have Rhapsodic and a Strange Hymn by Laura Thalassa. I am so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I think these are also going to be in the maybe pile after reading Bewitched and Bespelled. Bewitched, I had a good time reading. Bespelled, I did not. I did DNF that book. So I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile because I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with these. Next, I have Grimm's Fairy Tales I'm keeping. I've heard that it's gonna make me rethink all fairy tales, so I'm very excited for that. I have Ghost Among Us by Leslie Rule. I just thought that this would be a fun little ghost short story kind of book, get me spooked, you know, so I am going to keep this. I am going to keep The God of the Woods because me and my friend picked out books for each other and she picked out this one for me, so I am going to keep this. I also bought A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. This is a recent read, and even if I don't get to it, the cover and the sprayed edges is honestly too pretty to get rid of. I don't even know if you're gonna be able to see this. Hello? Please? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not good with cameras. So I am going to keep that. I'm gonna keep that. This next book is totally a gag. I bought this because it was funny and why not? And it is William Shakespeare's The Empire Striketh Back. And it does have Yoda decked out in old clothing. And I love it. It is just The Empire Strikes Back written in Shakespearean language. I will be keeping this. I will be keeping this and I will be reading it. I might not rate it because it's for vibes only, but I am keeping this. Next up, I have The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed. I am gonna unhaul this. I just don't think I'm ever going to pick it up. I don't think I'm ever gonna get to it, so this is gonna get unhauled. I also have Misery by Stephen King. This is sitting in the maybe pile because I really want to read it, but I'm not too sure. I'm gonna keep it. It hasn't been on my shelf for too long. Sorry. On the shelf it goes. My next 3 books are going to be unhauls. And I'm gonna feel really bad about these, but they have been on my shelf for a while. And I have picked some of them up and I have put them right back down. And that is The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte, Villette by Charlotte Bronte, and Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Every time I pick it up, I put it right back down. So I'm gonna get rid of that. And then last but not least, I have Dante, The Divine Comedy. Why did I pick this up? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I picked this book up. I am gonna give it my best shot, but it's not looking very good for me. I don't know if I will ever get to this book. I'll put it on the back burner for now. I'll still keep it. If I don't get to it, I don't get to it, and then it'll just end up being unhauled. So, real quick, I am just going to run through my maybe pile, and I'm just gonna say yes or no super duper quick and not think about it and put it in the pile. So, unhaul. I'm gonna unhaul this one as well. I'm gonna keep Kristen Hanna's The Nightingale. I'm gonna keep Battle and Blood, King of Battle and Blood. And I'm going to keep The House Across a Lake. And I'm gonna unhaul Rhapsodic and Astringent. Potentially. See, if I sit here and think about these books, I'm going to want to put every single one of these back on my shelf. But I literally don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. So, I ended up putting all the maybes in the keep pile. But the 2 that I was really unsure about unhauling was Rhapsodic and A Strange Hymn. And I think I'm going to keep these for now. I'm going to try and read them here shortly. And if I don't like it or it doesn't keep me hooked, I will immediately be unhauling these. Because I have just been kind of iffy on them anyway. Especially, again, after reading Bespelled and Bewitched. I don't know if I'm going to like these. But I bought them. You know what? I'm just gonna unhaul these. I'm gonna unhaul them. I just don't know. So I'm just gonna unhaul. I'm gonna unhaul and I'm not even gonna look at them. So that leaves, let me recount real quick. I also have Sun Tzu's Art of War. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Okay, I just counted 34 books that I'm keeping. Okay, that's pretty good. I was not expecting it to be that good. So we're getting rid of 12 books, which is great. I'm feeling really good about that. I am not going to immediately get rid of them, just in case if any of these books that I am keeping, if I get to reading them and I DNF them, or if I just don't ever get to any of these books, I can just do it all at once. I can either take it to my local bookstore and get a little bit of money back, or I can take it to the free little library, some of the books that I won't get money back on. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of how many books I have gotten rid of. It's making me feel pretty good about reading. I'm excited to knock these down. That was all for today's video, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I'm sorry if it was a bit of a mess, but it is what it is. Just be sure to like and subscribe, and please let me know what you guys would like to see in the future. Bye guys.